As more e-scooters pop up in KC, there's more talk about the dangers for those who ride. KCTV5 has covered a number of crashes and spills that have sent people to the hospital. One of our viewers asked if they're really that unsafe or if it's all just hype. Joe Chiodo took the good question to City Hall and emergency rooms. Here's what he found.
Is this all being blown up about the dangers of scooters, or is it a real fear for people?
I don't want to diminish a real fear that someone might have. I think on our end, it's a balance of, how do we be innovative in our city? How do we build out a multimodal system, have options for people to get around, at the same time that we are balancing folks' concerns about safety.
Maggie Green with KC Public Works says jumping on the e-scooter trend keeps our city ahead of the curve, rather than falling behind. And speaking of falls, Kansas City has seen injuries from these rides.
We do see breaks, we do see strains, sprains, we also see concussions.
That's why this year's scooter fleet is a pilot program. At the end of the year, KC will figure out if they're safe enough to keep or if they should be tossed aside. The problem? I found out injury data from hospitals just isn't there.
What does the city have to say about that?
Yeah, so I know that tracking and coding these injuries is tricky.
In an effort to see if they're really dangerous, I reached out to several hospitals. Here's what I found. St. Luke's says the only data they have are fall injuries, but that could mean anything. Think scooters or slips on ice. They estimate that less than a dozen are scooter-related each month. Similarly, KU told me, quote, nobody can remember the last time anybody came in saying it happened on a scooter. And we don't keep track of injuries by how it happened, just type. So I guess our official scooter injury number would be 0. And Children's Mercy explained, we are not seeing many injuries. It's hard to even find solid national data specifically related to kids since they're so new to many cities.
So that basic level of coding is needing to be adjusted.
The city says it is now exploring ways to improve the system with the Kansas City Fire Department and police.
So far across the country, Consumer Reports is estimating that about 1,500 people have been hurt on scooters. That's about 20 injuries for every 100,000 trips. Now, supporters of scooters argue using different numbers. They say that cars kill about 40,000 people a year, motorcycles 5,000, and scooters so far, since last year, just 8.
The city says they've only received 10 official scooter complaints since last year, and those can be made by calling the city's 311 line. If you have a question you'd like Joe to answer, just email him at goodquestion@kctv5.com.